Deshaun Watson is going to have another lawsuit. So, another woman files suit alleging Watson pressured her into performing a sexual act during a massage, Fox 8 News. This guy, how many women? Like, this dude needs to be locked up and, like, detained somewhere for a long time. And the sad thing is, because he has all that money, all that fame, all that everything, this dude is gonna just get away with it. He's gonna pay a bunch of money, this, that, and the other. Dude, it's like mind-boggling. This guy is like a serial, like, you know what, at this point. I can't really say it, it's YouTube, but it's just like all these girls keep coming out of the woodwork. And look, there have been so many. Is it very likely that there are some that are, complete, just making it up to go along and get a quick bag? I'm sure. But I guarantee you a majority of them are, like, legit. And even, one's too many. But we're seeing, like, literally, like, it's getting into, like, almost the triple digits at this point, at the rate he's going. Like, this is just insane to me. And he's still, what's going to happen, he's going to serve his suspension, he's going to pay this chick, it's going to go away, he's going to come back and play football, and that'll be it. And I know the Browns paid all this money, but, like, how much does this guy have to do before you're just like, all right, like, enough is enough? Like, I think they should I think because of these new allegations, they should suspend him longer. Be like, hey, every time a new one comes out of the woodworks, that's another, like, 3 games or whatever. Like, this dude will never play, at the rate he's going, he will never play a game in the NFL ever again because they just keep coming out of the woodworks. And it's crazy to me that this guy was doing this for so long. And the thing is, too, is that we know this happened, that at least to a fair amount of these women, because even the Houston Texans had to pay settlements over his behavior and stuff. Like, the Texans could not remove him fast enough. Now this dude is in Cleveland. This dude has some issue. There's something wrong with this dude, and he needs help. He needs, like, what they should be doing is forcing him to go to, like, a sex therapy or something along the lines to go try to get this guy some help. Like, that should be one of his requirements to re-enter the league. Like, seriously, they should have him go to some sort of therapy, get to the root of the problem, and just say, like, hey, once you complete this, this process, then you can return to the NFL. Because, otherwise, like, what's going to happen next? What, he's just going to keep doing this? And he's going to hope these other people get quiet, or he's going to have them sign NDAs, or he's going to pay them off and stuff. Like, it's just, like, this guy is a weirdo. And it's like, how much do you need to see before you just go, okay, like, this guy just is a piece of dirt and just doesn't belong in the NFL. Like, why would you want him being a poster in the NFL? Because, last time he played, which is a long time ago, but last time he played, he was one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. He's very likely, because he's talented, is probably going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, what happens if the Browns, not saying this year, but what happens if the Browns end up winning the Super Bowl or something like that? His face is just plastered all over everything. That is such a bad look for the Cleveland Browns and the NFL in general. Obviously the Cleveland Browns don't care because the Cleveland Browns gave him, a huge contract and traded for him even after they knew the situation at hand. So Cleveland, obviously, they have no morals or standards when it comes to this, which I just don't understand. And then on top of that, the NFL, like, they just let everybody in the NFL get away with whatever. Like, there's no repercussions for anybody in the NFL. Like, nowadays, it's like, hey, it's all right. Like, oh, you beat a kid. Don't worry about it. You did this. Man, tell you what, give us 10 grand and it's all good. Like, it makes the NFL needs to start putting in place some policies, some things in place that, like, if you do this, you're out. If, of course you need to have it scaled and structured, because, like, somebody just whatever, getting in a bar fight is not the same thing as somebody, doing what Deshaun Watson did. There's levels, right? But there should be, like, set in stone that no matter what, I don't care what your excuse is, I don't care what it is, if this happens, then you are out of the league for X amount of time or whatever. Or if it's bad enough, you're completely out of the league, you're not allowed to return. Like, they need to have stuff set in stone and a standard put in place to where if you do this, then these are your repercussions regardless. Automatic minimum is this. Because the problem is that there's no really guidelines or parameters for anything. It's just kind of like, well, let's make it up as we go along. But if you have things in place, then there's no question, there's no nothing. Okay, good. Like, this person, beat his spouse. Okay, well, he's suspended for 3 years, or whatever. Deshaun Watson's case, like, he is kicked out of the league. Like, that's it. You're done. Because we don't want, like, and what organization, like, this is the biggest mind-blowing thing to me, period, is, like, with the Cleveland Browns. What organization would want him? The problem that the Texans had is that nobody wanted him. Like, everybody was staying as far away as possible. The Cleveland Browns were like, we'll take him. Like, where's your moral compass? Where's your standard? And the problem is that if he's winning and he's successful and he's good with the Browns fans and most people in general are going to completely forget about it and just sweep it under the rug. In hindsight, a year or so from now, this will be completely forgotten. Nobody will be bringing it up. No one will be thinking about it. Deshaun Watson, if he's playing great, that'll be, the story in the headlines and stuff. And it's just like, that's the problem with just celebrity in general. There's no accountability. And there needs to start being accountability for, people throughout this league. I mean, look at, like, Devontae Adams. Not saying that these two situations are comparable, but still, Devontae Adams has a knucklehead move and could have seriously injured that photographer. I mean, the kid ended up having a concussion and who knows what else, and is getting sued now. He's for misdemeanor assault, and the NFL is probably not going to do anything, or they haven't yet. And it's just like, there needs to be repercussions to actions. You can't, I understand that, operating as an athlete or operating as a celebrity, it's different standards, different rules, different things in general, but there needs to be something, because they're not just representing themselves. They're representing an organization. They're representing an entire, big conglomerate that is, the NFL. Like, you're paid in a way that is just ridiculous. If anything, you should be held to a higher standard. Like, if you or me, did something like this, we would be sitting in prison for the rest of our lives. And this guy, what happened to him? Nothing. Nothing has happened. He got a little vacation for 11 weeks or whatever. Like, that's not justice. That's not anything. Like, if that was us, we'd be sitting, we'd be facing life in prison for the rest of our lives if we did even half or a quarter of what this guy did. And it's just like, I just think that they should be held to a higher standard. I really do. Because you're being paid as such, the rules, what you commit to, what you get buying into. And if you can't do that, then you don't deserve that spot. It's just my thoughts on it. But anyway, as always, that is my thoughts and opinions, and I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you feel about the situation? Whatever you feel, whatever you think, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between, let me know down in the